Alright everyone, welcome. Today we are diving deep into one of the most exciting service, AWS Security Agent. AWS Security Agent is a frontier agent so that proactively secure your application throughout the development lifecycle across all your environments. It conducts automated security reviews customized to your requirements with the security terms centrally. Before we talk about solution, let's establish the problem. And it do that, I want you to look at these three columns. The first, static application security testing. So this is the tool that or method that reads your source code without executing it. It finds the things like SQL injection patterns, hard-coded password, and the unsafe functions calls. It will be reviewed. So except it has no idea what your application actually does when it runs, right? It cannot see your architecture. It doesn't understand how your components talk to each other. It is, in AWS own words, one dimensional. The second column is dynamic application security testing. It flips it around. So dynamic application security testing runs your live application and probes it from the outside. So like black box attackers, it can find the things static application security testing miss, like running logic flows, but it has no visibility into your actual code or design. Also one dimensional from other direction. And then there is a manual pen testing. This is the gold standard. A skilled human attackers tries everything they can do to break into your system. It finds the deepest, most sophisticated vulnerabilities. But here is the brutal truth. It takes a weeks to schedule. External vendors might take a month. Your internal security teams, it already scratched thin, and every application in your portfolio needs one. So now look at the bottom bar. 2025 reports from the checkmarks found that over the 60% of organizations update their web application weekly or more, but almost 70% test for security monthly or less. So do the maths on the gap, and the result is 81% of organizations knowingly ship vulnerability to meet the release deadlines, not because they want to, because the security process cannot keep pace with the development process. That is the problem. AWS Security Agents is designed to solve this problem. Okay, now let's talk about what is AWS Security Agent exactly, right? So this diagram tells you story very clearly. So let me walk you through it. On left hand side, you see the inputs. The AWS Security Agent injects the three things. So your design document and architectural specification, your source code directly from GitHub, and your organization's security requirement. So both the ones AWS provides out of the box, and the custom ones you define yourself. That central box in the middle is the agent itself. So this is the frontier AI, and I want to emphasize the word frontier here. So this is not a simple rule-based scanner. AWS use that word to single that is genuinely capable AI system that can reason across complex information and take autonomous actions. And on the right, the outputs, the agent produced the three type of deliverables: the design review report, that tells you whether your architecture meets your security requirements before any code is written. Inline PR security comments in the GitHub that tells developers exactly what need to be fixed in their pull request, and the penetration test report that verified exploitable vulnerability and exactly how to remediate them. Now look at the bottom call out, the context aware. So this is the critical differentiator. The static application security testing sees your code. Dynamic application security testing sees your running apps, but AWS Security Agent sees all of it simultaneously. Your design, your code, your architecture, and your organization specific policies. That is what makes it fundamentally different from every other security tools that existed before the AWS Security Agent. So let's talk about the capabilities. So AWS Security Agent has three more core capabilities, and each one corresponds the different phase of your development lifecycle. So let me go through each one. So capability one, so design security review. This is security at absolute earliest stage before a single line of code has been written. So your app security team uploads design documents, architecture documents, product specification, data flow documents, up to 5 files at a time. The agent reads everything and checks it against all your enabled security requirement. The result is finding for each requirement compliant, non-compliant, insufficient data, or not applicable. So if your design says you are using the AWS managed encryption keys, but your requirement says you need customer managed or KMS keys, it flagged automatically. So right there at design time, when fixing it cost almost nothing. Capability 2. So code security review. So this is where it integrates with your existing GitHub workflow. Once you connect your repositories, every single pull request automatically triggers a security review. The agent reads the changed files, check them against your requirements, and post inline comments directly in the PR. Okay, so pointing at the exact line that has the issue and explain why it violates your policy. So developers get the security feedback without leaving the GitHub, no separate tool, no separate report, or no waiting required. So capacity 3, the pen testing. So this is the one that changed the game entirely. So traditional pen testing is slow and expensive because it's required the human expertise. AWS Security Agent does it on demand, but here is the critical part. It doesn't run against the script. It built custom attack plans based on the everything it has learned from your design documents, your code, and your architecture. So then executes multi-step attack chain, so dynamically adapting as it discovers endpoints, status codes, and error messages. So real attacks in hour. So notice when the tags at the bottom of each card we return. So design review at the design phase, code review on every pull request, pen testing on demand anytime. So this is the continuous security. So not point in time security. So that's the reason these are the three capabilities highlight the AWS security agent very high. Let's discuss about the architecture. So this is the architecture slide, and this is one I want you to study carefully because understanding this model makes everything else click. Okay. So the entire diagram sits inside one AWS account, and right now during the preview that has to be deployed or used in the US East 1 region. Keep it that in mind. So let's trace the flow from left to right across the top row. It starts with the authentication. So you have two options. IAM Identity Center, which is the AWS single sign-on service. So this is what you do use for team where the multiple app security engineers needs access. Or you can use the plain IAM or identity access management only access, where which is similar and grant for individual user or quick evaluations. Both options connect to your security agent console or agent admin console. So this is where administrator configure everything. For the admin console, users access the security agent web application. Think of this as a portal where your security team actually does the work, running design reviews, triggering pen testing, view results. It's dedicated web app that AWS spins up for you automatically when you create your first agent space. On the far right, you will see the IAM role connected with the dashed line. This is the permissions layer, the role that AWS Security Agent used to access your other AWS resources, repositories, and services. You either create a default role during the setup or bring your own with the right policies. Now, the most important concept in this entire architecture, agent space. Look at those three boxes in the middle. Payment API prod, auth service dev, web app stage. Each one is the completely isolated security environment for single application or project. AWS recommends one agent space per application. Each space has its own testing scope, its own configuration, its own web application domain. And inside each space, you have all three capabilities: design, code, and pen test, all scoped to that specific application. Finally, at the very bottom, the shared security requirements bar in gold. This circles your security requirements are not pre-agent space, they are shared across all agent space. So when your CISO defines the requirements that you all sensitive data must use customer managed KMS keys, that requirement automatically applies to every single application in your entire portfolio. Centralized policy automatically enforced everywhere. So this is how the architecture flow goes along with the structure and application or development lifecycle. Now let's zoom out and see how all three capabilities fit together into a complete security lifecycle. Okay, so this is the flow, and notice that tail banner at the top, the continuous. This is not a once a quarter exercise. This is security that runs all the time. Let's discuss about the steps. Step 1, define requirements. Before anything else, you go into the security agent console and configure your security requirements. both the AWS managed ones and your own custom policies. So this is your foundation. Everything the agent checks against flow from here itself. Step 2, design review. When a new feature or system is being designed, your team uploads the architecture documents and the agent review them before any developer writes a single line of code. Catching a missing encryption requirement at the design stage takes a 5 minutes to fix. Finding it in production could mean re-architecture or re-architecting an entire service. Step 3, code review on pull request. As developers write code and open pull request, the agent automatically reviews every changes. Security feedback lands directly in the PR as inline comments. No separate workflow, no extra tools or the developer to learn. Step 4, pen testing. When the significant feature shifts or on the regular contents you are defined, you trigger an on-demand pen test from the security agent web application. The agent builds its attack plan, execute it, and produce full report. Step 5, findings and reports. All outputs, design review findings, code review comments, pen test reports come with the severity rating, detailed justification, and specific remediation steps. Download them for compliance audit, share them with the development team, track them in your tracking system. And those three states at the bottom, pen test that used to take weeks now complete in hours. 81% of organization use the knownly shipped vulnerability code. This break that cycle, and cloud security company reported a 90% plus reduce in the testing time after adopting these previews. So in preview, many companies tested this tool and reported they are hugely increased the security standards, or reported 91% plus reduction in the testing time effort adopting this in the preview itself. So this is where the benefit or life cycle of AWS Security Agent. Let's talk about the security integration. So AWS Security Agent doesn't exist in the isolation. It designed to plug in into your existing AWS ecosystem and developer toolchain. This slide show the integration map. On the left hand side, the inputs and access services. So GitHub is where your code lives. This is the integration that enables the automated code review on every pull request. Okay. So Amazon S3 is where you can store your design documents and architecture specifications, making them easy to inject into the design review. And IAM Identity Center gives you entire application security team single sign-on access to the security agent web application without managing individual passwords. On right hand side, the downstream integrations, AWS Security Hub is AWS Central Security Finding Aggregator. You can push your security agent findings there alongside finding from the guard duty, inspector, machine, and other AWS security services, giving you single pane of glass. EventBridge lets you build automated workflows triggered by the security agent findings. For example, automatically create a Jira ticket whenever the critical vulnerability is found. And AWS KMS is referenced throughout. The customer managed encryption key are the best practice that security agent actively enforce through your custom security requirements. At the bottom, developer workflow in the plain language. So developer push the code, pull request opens, the security agent automatically reviews it, inline comments appears on the vaulting line, developer sees the feedback, fix it, push it again. Okay, the PR gets approved, code deploys, security was embedded in the workflow, the developer already uses, no friction, no separate tools, no waiting. So this is the integration, hand to hand work, all the phases, and this is the benefit. Single central feature integration can be happen with any other tools, whether it's an injection or the output standpoint. So let's see the get running in the 5 step, how the setup guide we align in the next slide. All right, so let's make this real. Okay, so understand the steps to set up the AWS Security Agent in your account. Here are the 5 steps to get AWS Security Agent running on your account, and I will walk you through each one. Step 1, and this is the critical, don't skip it. Switch your AWS console region to AWS US East 1 region. AWS Security Agent currently only available in this region during the public preview. If you are in any other region, you will be not find this service. Top right on the console, click the region selector and pick up the US East 1. Second step or step 2, 1, open the AWS Security Agent console by search for Security Agent in AWS console search bar. You will be lead on the landing page that walks you through the 3 phases: design, build and deploy. On the right panel, click Setup AWS Security Agent to begin. Step 3, create your first agent space. Give it clear name. I recommend the pattern for the example: app name, your app name, environment and security. This is the consolidated naming standard, you can use it. So something like payment API, prod and security. So then choose your authentication method. For quick evaluation or solo user, use IAM only service is the fastest path. For a team or multiple people in your team, choose the SSO, which is AWS IAM Identity Center. Step 4, configure your security requirement. This is where you define what the agent will check against, right? Start with the AWS managed requirements. They are already built a cover industry standard. Then layer on your custom requirement that reflect your organization specific policies. Encryption standard, session timeout limits, network segmentation rules, anything your security team mandates goes here. Step 5, run your first review from the security agent standpoint or web application. Create design review by uploading your architecture documents. Connect your GitHub for automated code review on pull request, and kick off your first penetration test by entering the scope URL of your application. The console URL and documentation links are at the bottom of the slide. So the more information, you can refer the console URL for the AWS agent, security agent, and the AWS security documents or KBs or region which you are going to recommend. So these are the 5 steps, most crucial step where we configure. In this video, we are just going through the steps, understand the step, understand the design architecture, how it's work, how it can be integrated, what is the benefits, what are the capability we have, and how the scenario it's going to be get implemented, and what are the parties needs to be involved. This is the goal of this video or this session. So in next session, we are going to see these 5 steps practically or demo purpose. We are bringing the all actual designs or GitHub integrations, or we run through the all pen test and test. We are doing this practically all the steps for you guys in the next session. So for now, understand these steps, go through this video and understand entire process. Okay, so let's talk about who this actually for and what the return of investment looks like. We are going to discuss about the 3 persons here. There are very different pain points. First, the startup with the no security team. You are moving fast, shipping weekly, and you literally cannot afford to hire a dedicated app security engineer yet. With AWS Security Agent, you connect your GitHub repos, enable the managed security requirements in the about 10 minutes, and suddenly every pull request your developer open gets automatically or automated security review. You have security coverage from day one without single new hire. Second, the enterprise driven by the compliances. You are in the finance services, healthcare, or any industry where you are held to frameworks like PCI DSS or SOX 2. You have spent months work with your legal and security team to define the exact policies your application must allow. You encode those policies and custom security requirement in AWS Security Agent, and now every design document and every code changes is automatically checked against your specific standards. Not generic advice. Your compliance audits just got significantly simpler because you have automated it. So documented evidence of continuous enforcement will be the key point of the enterprise driven compliance using the AWS Security Agent. So third one, the DevOps operations or DevSecOps operation team with the pen test backlogging. This is probably the most common pain point for the engineering organizations. You have 50 microservices in production. Your security team can manually pen test maybe 3 or 4 per quarter. That means 46 services are running in the production right now untested, and you know it, right? So how it's pain. With AWS Security Agent, you create one agent space per service and you run on demand pen tests tied to every major release. No more backlogs, no more will get it next quarter. Many companies are already using this in the preview and reported that pen test assessment now complete in hour, not days, at fraction of manual testing cost. Okay, so this is how the similar and very quick initiative by AWS Security Agent. The pen test, what most I likely the pen test timings. So I literally gone through many pen test cases, and it takes months or quarters to complete the pen test for the 1 or 2 services or endpoints. But using AWS Security Agent, it's on demand. Within a fraction, you can manually avoid all the testing you can do automated and get it done very quickly and get your compliance up to date. Okay, so we have covered a lot of on the ground. Let me land on the 6 things I want you to walk away remembering from throughout these slides. 1. Context aware AI. This is not just another scanner or security scanner. It understands your full application design, code, architecture, and your organization security policies all at same time. 2. 3 capabilities in one: design review before is written, code review on every pull request, on demand penetration testing whenever you need it, one service, the entire life cycle. 3. Agent space keeps each application isolated. One agent space per application means clear scope, no cross containments or the findings, and the clean organizational structure. 4. GitHub integration, security feedback land directly in the pull request. Developers get actionables, context specific guidance without ever leaving the tool they already use. 5. Custom security requirements. Your organization's policy get automatically enforced across every application, every design review, every code changes. Your CISO's standards become the agent standards. 6 hours, not a weeks. Penetration testing that used to block release for the months now runs in hours and produce the verified real vulnerabilities, not false positive from the passive scanning. If you want to get started today, head into AWS console security agent. The console is at console.aws.amazon.com security agent. Remember, US East 1 only the right now available. It's a public preview. So go sign up, spin up your first agent space and run design review on the next project. I will change how the things about application security, and in next video we are going to see the actual live practical demo for this service. We are going to spin up a couple of application code project in the AWS security agent, and let's see how it's work at actual on the ground. Okay, thank you and have a great learning. Goodbye.